Hey YouTube family, how you doing? Well, it's time for the Westcreek Helios Part 2. Alright, so we got the Helios on the bench. And here is the plan for today's video. Don't mind all the mess, I'm working on some other stuff. Anyway, I'll get to that eventually. So first, I'm going to give you some specs. So how much does it weigh? I got my scale right here. I will weigh myself, and then I will weigh myself holding the guitar and get you a number on that. Then I'm just going to give you some pickup specs. We're going to plug in a cable. I'm going to get my meter out and we'll see what these pickups read. After that, I will give you a little view under the hood. So we'll flip the guitar over and we'll have a look at the switch and we'll have a look at the electronics inside the back cavity. And then I'm going to set the intonation, because if you watch my last video, like the first video, these first 4 strings are out. They're all sharp when fretted at the 12th fret. So I'm going to set the intonation just to see how close I can get it. And then these original strings are coming off. This bridge is coming off. Those knobs are coming off. I'm going to give the guitar a nice polish and then restring. Try to lower the action a little bit. However, there are 9s on this from factory. I believe these are 9s. And I'm going to put 10s on. We're going to down tune half a step to E flat, because that's where my band usually sets it. It's a little easier on the vocals. And because I'm jumping up a set, I'm going to have to widen these nut slots a bit. So I'm going to give my new nut files a first try and see how we get along. And that's about it, because this guitar, stock right out of the box is fantastic, I gotta say. Pretty impressed. So let's get right into this. All right. So looks like I weigh a whopping 169.2 pounds. Let's double check that again. Yep, that's 2 for 2, 169.2. Now we are simply going to grab the Helios. I'm going to hold it in my hands and try this again. 177. Let's try that again. $177. So it would appear that this Helios weighs 7.8 pounds, which I guess for an LP style is kind of light, but honestly, this thing feels super light. I guess it's just really well balanced, maybe? Anyway, 7.8 pounds. Still very reasonable, just a little heavier than I thought. All right, let's get you some meter readings on the pickups. Okay, so we're plugged in, full tone, full volume, and bridge pickup is coming in at 9.43K, and the neck is 7.55. That's a little lower than I expected. And in the middle position, we have 4.19. Now, are they all like that? I don't know, but this one clearly is. All right, let's check out those electronics. So I'm just taking out the screws. I got these off. I'll take these 3 out and then I'll pop the covers off. Okay, let's take this off. Oh, we got some nice bright colored wires in there. Here, let me take this phone off the stand and I'll get you a close-up. Okay, so we are, let me get some light here for you. Definitely looking at we are looking at a real, like a real toggle Gibson style switch. It's not a box switch. It's the real deal they used here. You can see the little levers flicking back and forth there when I move the switch. So the switch feels really good. It's definitely high, you know, good quality. It's not cheap. And it looks like they have all the ground wires wrapped together, soldered up here. Solder joint looks good. Nice and solid, no fraying. And I can't really see the other solder joints, but there's no issues with the guitar. So I don't know, we're going to assume that everything is good. The hole is, you know, a little bit dirty. Looks like there's shielding paint in there. It's all black. And up here where there's some clear coat, it's coming off on my finger. So this definitely looks like shielding paint. I will check. If there's shielding paint in here, there's definitely some in here. So I will check with my meter to see if we get a reading. Because I have more space in here. And yeah, so that looks good. I'm just going to clean this up a bit with the rag and put that cover back on, and then we'll have a look at this one. Let's just pull this cover off here. Yep. All right, as I fully expected, we have full-size pots. Try to get this to focus for you. And we have a nice painted cavity. Wow, it's really hard to get some good lighting in here. A little bit of, you know, sawdust or whatever that is, but I'll vacuum that up. Solder joints look really good. If you look down there, you know, the solder is all the way through the pin from front to back. So everything is good there. So you have the two wires coming from the switch right here. So the number on that capacitor is 2A4731. So I'm guessing it's a 47 cap, but I'm not sure. Anyway, 2A4731. 2 Bike Mike, you would know what that means. So yeah, it has like two separate volumes, but they're not really independent, because in the middle position, if you, like I showed you on the video, if you turn down one, it shuts off the other as well. But honestly, for me, guys, I don't really care about independent volumes. I would just like one volume and one tone, and none of this like separate or independent stuff. Just this, as simple as I can get it, I like. On my hybrid Strat, I have one volume, and that's it. No tone. Just I use my amp for the different tones that I need and some pedals. So I find I'm not playing around with that stuff like live at a gig. Now for home use and recording, I guess maybe that's where this stuff might come in handy. Or if you're one of those players that's you know, extremely soulful, you know, and you use your volumes to kind of give you all those different tones and harmonic overtones and all that kind of stuff. I guess maybe that would be good, but I'm not like that. I'm not that level of player. So to me, one volume, one tone is lots, and in a lot of cases, all I need really is a volume. So yeah, nice clean cavity. Oh, nothing's like clipped together or anything. The wires are just loose in there, but very well soldered. Full-size pots. I don't know if they're branded, but I don't see anything written on the side of the pots. I'm assuming they're 500K pots, but like I said, I can't see any numbers there. So that's what we got. Just a normal jack. The jack over here is just a typical, you know, jack. One pin kind of that connects to the tip. It's not like a pure tone jack that you'll find in the music guitars, but it works. No issues there. So really, I don't think there's anything here that really needs upgrading. And yes, these are in fact 4-wire pickups. You'll see the white and red wires are not being used. They're taped on the bridge pickup, and over here on the neck pickup as well. The white and the red wire are not being used. So if you wanted to install some split pots, you could split those humbuckers and to give you some single coil tones as well. All right, let's check to see if this is real, shielding paint. All right, so turn this to resistance. All right, here we go. And there's nothing. So this is not shielding paint, it's just black paint, I guess. Which is kind of a little disappointing, but I guess maybe not surprising. On the Westcreek double cut guitar that I reviewed, it had shielding paint in it. I did get a reading on the meter. Now that was a single P90 dog ear style pickup, right? So probably for noise, it's better if it was shielded. Whereas these are humbuckers anyway, so technically hum canceling, and you know the split feature is not connected. So in every position, they're going to be hum canceling regardless. So I guess you don't really need shielding paint. So there's a wire coming in here, and that wire goes to one of the posts of the bridge, and it's grounded to the back of the volume pot. So the bridge is in fact grounded to this circuit. So yeah, so I guess no shielding paint required, which I guess in turn would cut down costs, which for them is good, and for us is good because these guitars are extremely affordable. Yeah. So that's what you got. No surprises in there. All right, let's see how hard it is to intonate. One thing I do like, and it's not a deal maker by any means, but I like the fact that there's only 3 screws on this back plate. Some guitars have like 6 screws holding down a little plastic plate just to cover the volume pots. It's ridiculous. So I like that Westcreek is kind of minimalistic, and so they got 3 screws, one here, and one here, and that's it, done. So I like that. All right, well, before starting to intonate, so if you remembered my last video, I said that the action was a little high compared to where I would normally set it. But maybe for these guitars, that's normal. Like I said, I'm not really an LP kind of guy. I've never had, you know, a Gibson style guitar before Westcreek kind of came into my life. So I want to try and lower the action here. So, and you'll see that the bridge, like the bridge here is pretty high, and the stop tailpiece is like really low to the ground. So, and if you look at the strings coming out of the stop tail piece right here, you see how they're, because it's so low and the bridge is so high, the string angle is fairly high over the bridge. The string is kind of hitting the top of this tailpiece. And I know there's no movement back here, but I'm wondering if just the pressure, I don't know how much pressure is on that string, and if it could potentially maybe, you know, cut the string eventually, like with time. You know, especially those smaller ones. Let me focus in there for you. So I'm going to try and lower the action, and then if I can get it to where I like without, you know, excessive buzzing, then I will make the adjustment on this tailpiece to try and reduce the break angle here so that the strings aren't pressed up against the top hole of this rear tailpiece. You guys can comment if that's not how you adjust these, but I think it's just logical that you don't want a whole lot of pressure over there at the top. And I don't think it's necessary to have that much break angle. I know it's important, you know, not to get any weird buzzing, you know, over the saddle, but I don't know. So lowering the action on these types of guitars are super easy because, you know, if you've ever lowered it on a Strat or a Tele with like 6 saddles, you have literally 12 screws to adjust, right, to raise or lower that saddle. Here you have 2. the two end ones right here. And you can do it with full string tension. However, if you're raising the action, I would slack the string tension and then raise it and then make your adjustment. But I'm lowering the action, so the string tension is going to get lower as I drop this bridge. So really, I'm just going to set it up flat on the bench, and then I will double check it in my hands because I like to make adjustments with the guitar in my hands. So right now, we are looking at the 12th fret, I am measuring, so .060, right? So right around here, 0.060, and I like it at about 0.050. So I'm just going to drop this a full turn. Oh, wow. Now, I don't know if this is typical of all these styles of bridges because I don't have guitars like this, but it's like frictionless to turn. You just whoop, right? Really easy. You don't have to fight with it. I'm guessing that's a good thing. Anyway, just going to measure it right quick. All right, so these adjustments are very macro, so to speak, because one turn brought me down to 0.04 as opposed to 0.05. So I'm going to back this up another half turn, raise it up a little. I'm going to double check that again. Here, I'll just give you a better angle here so you see what I'm doing. And there are different ways to set your action height or to measure it. I just always use the 12th fret. All right, perfect, 0.050. So just half a turn is all it takes. And then I want to get, actually I might as well just do it like this. So the low string is, the low E is almost there too, but I want to get that one a little lower. So clockwise lowers it and counterclockwise raises it. All right, perfect. So on the low E, I'm at 0.050, and the high E, I'm at 0.040. Perfect. All right. I'm just going to tune up quickly, and then we'll see if I get any fret buzz. All right, so let's see. And I'm picking pretty hard, and there's no real fret buzzing at all. I mean, there's a little bit. You can hear like nothing that would come out in an amplifier though. A little bit here. So a couple of frets before the 12th fret are buzzing, but then at the 13th fret, it stops. So, right, so the 13th fret is a little high on the E string because it's ringing clear, and these are buzzing. And then they clear up. So I think the 13th fret is a little bit high. Just over the E string. See, it's nice and clear there. So I might just take a little bit of this 13th down with a crowning file and just repolish, because I'm going to polish the frets and condition the neck anyway. So I'll just make a note of that 13th fret and everything will be good. Wow, perfect. All right, well that was easy.